Our topic this weekend that we're going to talk about is poverty in Africa. So first we have to recognize what is poverty, what causes poverty, and why is it still going on? Right now is 2020, we're going on to 2021. The whole world is waking up. What is going on with the poverty in Africa? And I know lately with the coronavirus, the pandemic, and all these government leadership that has been recognized, people are finally waking up to acknowledge that there has been so much corruption going on in the world. People are starting to understand that a lot of these problems that we've been having for a while is lack of leadership. So as I probably mentioned before, lack of leadership creates poverty. So with Africa, we want to make sure that we're not the last one getting the memo right now, because if we sleep on this and we don't recognize poverty, we're going to wake up in a couple of years later still in poverty. So that's one of our main topics. We're supposed to have a special guest that is going to come on today. Well, that is supposedly supposed to come on today, currently living in Egypt. But with the network in Africa and some of the issues there, we're not sure if we're going to be able to have him on for sure. But we're just going to kind of wait it out and see. So I'm going to give you guys all the information that I would like to share with you all. And eventually, if they still catch on with this live stream, that they could call in and then still give us their aspect story of what's going on there in Africa. So first, I'd like to start a little bit about her history. Who exactly are we as the African nation? So the beginning rise started in the early imperialism in North Africa, which was connected to the Middle East, where you have the East Africa, the North Africa, before everybody dispersed to create their own empires as well. So if you guys have heard a lot, as I have been promoting and representing the Nubia, with Nubia collections, and also using that platform to tell the history of the African empowerment empires that exist during the time. And every time I checked and read those history, it's just so fascinating to me, knowing that we were once, okay, one of the most powerful people at the time. And when you think about it back, it's mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing. Many people have tried to cover this topic, but not enough people are getting the message out there in how we could come back mentally to the people God created us to be, okay? We were created with creativity, with so much knowledge in things we could do, even in trades and merchandising as well. And in today's world, we have lacked so much into the love of money. The love of money is the root of all evil, okay? So which has caused many of our leaders to accept bribes from other foreign leaders and foreign countries to fill up and stuff up their pockets for the sake of the love of money. And the love of money, what is it doing? It is rising poverty, and it is causing the normal people who could actually grow something, become something, and they are falling into poverty line and even worse, okay? That has been going on, and especially in the latest countries that we have seen, like South Sudan, and some of the countries that's been developing for a while, there's still poverty, like Ethiopia, Kenya, and Sudan as well. Even in Egypt with corrupt socialism that is happening there. So there's so much, there's a long list of corruptions that has affected Africa so much that the normal people of the countries cannot rise above their expectation, okay? So first, what is Nubia, okay? Nubia, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit background information here. So it was the Kush kingdom. Century AD was preceded by the invasion of the Ethiopia's kingdom of the Aksum and the rise of 3 Christian kings, okay? So Kush is a name for one of the brothers. You have Kush, who are the people of Sudan, Ethiopia, Egypt, and South Sudan, all those regions. Those are all Kushite people. And they were most of the people that lived by the Nile. They were raised by the Nile, and they even have the highland people, which are considered the mountain people, okay? And those people have preserved that ethnic till today, okay, to give you the evidence that these were the Kushite people that have ruled during the Nubian Empire before everything collapsed and everybody dispersed to different regions and start mixing with different race and start having a different mixture of colors, became people of color. To really talk about it, but in any war that happens around the world and across the country, it's always a spiritual warfare, okay? And when people turn away from the right leaders of their country, when people turn away from God officially, that's when the corruptions happen and the collapse begins to happen, okay? And so with our empire collapsing so bad, we really have lost touch with the Creator who have given us the principles that helped us thrive and the knowledge and the skills that we had back in the old days. We had many invasions that invaded Egypt because Egypt has such a huge reputation during the Nubia trades, empire trades at the time. And the reputation that they had as reach out to the Romans, it had reached out to the Medians, the Persians, and all the other fallen kingdoms that have come here and before. Nubia, they were capable of making transactions, okay? In modern world, you call it transactions. Back in the day, it is, you want our goods, we're gonna give you something, and you're gonna give us something. So it's a give and take situation. And that empire grew so well, and the people lived such a wealthy lifestyle, and that's what made this so historical, and this history is being vanished, okay? It's not being talked about much. In most film industry, the celebrities, movie film industry, it is portrayed as foreigners, ethnic group, and not so much of the Kushite people and the Oxamites at the time that were ruling in the range of Nubia. Okay. Now, if you go back to the description of the Kushite people, they are people of tall and smooth skin. And the only people in the world that is your evidence today with tall and smooth skin are the people you now see in South Sudan. Okay. Spread out to Ethiopia, to Somalia. So, linen is one of the most expensive fabric and high quality fabric that is commonly used now around the world, okay? You'll mostly see that's what they wore during the time of the Egyptian rulers. And it was mostly the highest kingdoms people like the pharaohs and the pharaoh's wife and the daughters and the people working around the pharaohs at the time all wore linen. And linens come in different amount of thickness, whether it's really thick to cover you in warm clothing, or it's very light to kind of have that sheer covering and the see-through lining, and majority of them can be dyed into different color, because linen comes in white. It's mostly in pure white. And it can be woven in a very see-through line where you could wear as a chiffon. So that's one of the most common traits. So to give you guys that update there is to let you guys know so many resources, okay, came out of Africa, okay? Africa has so much wealth and so much resources to generate wealth, okay? But the downfall where I am mostly gonna complain about is that our leaders are selling our resources to other places around the world without any gain for the people, okay? Only for their own pocket. And that's where this corruption is so deep. It is very important to even continue to talk about this, and hopefully people will find courage and strength enough to go against their leader and put somebody else better. Because I believe a good leader, if there's somebody that is a good leader that actually cares about the people of Africa, they will be smart about their traits, okay? They will be a lot smarter about their traits. All the oil, the diamonds, the crystals that we have in Africa, okay? Jobs could be manufactured. Companies could be put up, okay? Now, if we have that kind of system that is created, the people of Africa can work those jobs knowing that they're getting paid, okay? And the buyers who are buying it, the foreigners, they have the money to buy it, to purchase it, and the people work in those companies and and build a livelihood off it, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just the lack of leadership in how we can develop Africa. Africa would have long developed a long time ago. It would have been developed, okay? But we got used to being silenced and the bribes of the money and the love of the money that we're allowing the foreigners to just come and take the product without much gain. They don't have to pay much, okay? They can use the people of Africa as slaves to go dig up all the gold and the minerals and the diamonds. And who is getting paid later? The leader, not the people, you know? So those are the things that I specifically want to address the most, okay? And I know the people don't have that much power to, you know, stand up against their government because such a really powerful tyranny and authoritarians that are happening in the African countries. Most of the negotiations that are happening are between the leaders, whether it's with China, whether it's with UK, whether it's with the US, and all of those other countries as well. Okay. First, I want to say thank you for coming on. So the topic that I have been speaking on is about the poverty going on there in Africa. And knowing that Africa has so much resources and is generating so much wealth, but the wealth are being sold out of the country, which is causing greater poverty as well. So my question for you would be, what is going on right now in Sudan? Because you're currently in Sudan, right?
Yes, I'm currently in Sudan.
Okay. So what is going on in Sudan? What is the wake up now in 2020 as far as the poverty and how we can go forward? What have people wake up to?
Thank you so much, and I'm very glad to be with you in this very important discussions.
Mm-hmm.
As I already described myself, I'm Tap Gatchang, and I call from Sudan, currently living here.
Mm-hmm.
About the question you asked, it is very important for us as this generation. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
So, as you mentioned that we are blessed as African countries,
Mm-hmm.
we have the resource,
Mm-hmm.
and then we do have everything that God could have given us.
Amen.
But still we are the poorest countries
Yeah.
currently in the world.
Yes.
I think the problem is that we don't realize that we are blessed with all these things, and we can make the use of the thing that we do have. And also we don't believe in our power. But the thing we have are the things that other world are seeking.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, we live in poverty, but still we are calling for the other world to come and help us. And meanwhile, we do have everything. I think the problems of our poverty is we ourselves. Due to that, we don't know the use of the thing that, or the resource that we have. And a good example, like Sudan here. Sudan is a blessed country with everything. Whatever you sow, it can grow as it could. But still currently people are living in poverty. If you could watch on TV, you'll find that people are lining up in battery, in train stations.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is very tough. Whatever, survival is very tough indeed. Meanwhile, we do have everything. What Sudan like maybe only technology, but about the natural resources we have everything. But still, people are suffering.
Wow.
Simple, I can say the cause of this poverty is only from us. We don't realize our resources, then we can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made really
think
good points there, and that is very true. We lack our, we don't believe in ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
And it's very sad in a way, because the mind-blowing part is that we have all the wealth in the world that we're actually helping other countries with these wealth, you know? But we're not doing it for ourselves. We don't realize the power that we can have in order to even gain these wealth for ourselves as well. So I'm very happy the way you pointed out. I mean, it explained perfectly. And I believe that, you know, with our people, we have to keep encouraging each other, and we have to keep talking to each other and allow us to be open in what we could do, you know, and support each other in those things. What are the leaders lacking on? Are they lacking on the same thing as the regular people, not believing that they can use this as a powerful trait to build their own country? Because the foreigners will buy the resources because they need the resources. But is there any way they can use that resource as an invention or a company where people can work and they can buy it so that their country can gain?
You know, as I usually told you, that we don't believe in our potential. And mostly, like now, I'm currently here in Sudan, and most of the youngest people, you find them, they are graduate, but they don't have job to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people have this an idea to move, but there's no support from the government and from the local people. I mean, people are just messing up. And that's why you now see people are just migrating from Africa to Europe.
Yeah, I saw that, and it was very devastating. It was very sad. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's the worst part of it. People are leaving the continent. Mm-hmm. But the youngest people are supposed to be here because they are the very people that could have developed the countries, I would believe, because they are the people. Mm-hmm. And mostly our leaders, the problem is from the leaders, African leaders, because they don't support our education. So in order to change this, we can change this through only education. Because when people are educated, I mean,
so we need
each one should work in their own
better
field.
Teaching.
But yes, through teaching people. That each one should have a professionality. But you'll find out somebody who is a doctor and then working in a management company.
Yeah.
How could you do that? And you'll find that somebody is graduating in accounting and then is working in the hospital. Mm-hmm. How could you do all? And how could you find this?
Yeah, because you're giving them something they didn't even go to school for. Yeah.
That is a very big problem. But I really appreciate the topic that you guys have come up with this. Mm-hmm. And I hope this could be the continuous discussion, and then we could have invited more people so that we may give this consciousness or vigilance to our people, so that people should be aware about what is our problem. We should at least realize it.
Yeah.
I mean, the younger people, we could have invited them through this discussion, so that we must, change start with only one person. And then when you preach this thing, people will hear your voice until they realize what you are saying may be the reality. Yes.
That is true. Yes. And, it's hard when you're one person doing it as well. And I know there's a lot of individuals out there that are fighting the same battle. But the only thing that I'm pushing on the most is to keep talking about it. Keep talking about it, and never stop. Because people like consistency. People like to see that, okay, you're consistent, this has been going on for a while, and hopefully eventually they will get it. And secondly, hopefully that we can recognize people with potential within that community, you know? And if we recognize people within that community, then they will come together and see how they can use their potential to help their community as well. Like, for example, maybe someone is good at, is good with technology, you know? They're good at graphic designing, they're good at flyers, they're good at websites, they're good at tackling details online, you know? If somebody has that potential, I think it would definitely take more than just one hand to help that person and lift them up, because tomorrow as they grow in that position, then they will be able to teach the next generation that are interested in that field. Does that make sense? So that's the only thought I could think of, because like our governments and our leaders pretty much got the money, you know, from the foreign leader, the bribery. So they're not gonna, they're mentally is not that much difference from the regular people as well. We all have that same thinking that we don't believe in our potential, and we don't believe in our power. That even the leaders themselves as well don't even believe in the potential or in the power that they can actually raise their citizens, because their citizens will do the work. They just need to raise them up, you know? And they're not asking for much of that help. And I hope that with our leader, we can keep convincing that to them. We can keep explaining that to them until they will understand. Because also understanding is very important. Once somebody understands something, they don't stop. They just keep going until, you know, it takes them where it needs to go. So I really, really appreciate you helping me on this topic and for bringing out. Those are really good points. It really opened up to a wider perspective of how we can get out of poverty. There is a possibility to get out of poverty. It's just a matter of tackling all the different issues that have filled up so much step by step. And it may not happen overnight. I mean, it could happen in a couple of years. It can happen in 5 years. We just don't want to wake up 20 years from now and we're still where we are.